Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cat Response Live, episode 169 with Gregor. Hello, Gregor.
Hey,
Welcome. Hey, hello. And we're going to be talking, as you can see in the bottom, about Measure Killer 2.0 because there's a new version, but we also will discuss what Measure Killer is from the start. If you're new to it, Gregor will also explain about that, of course. So, you know us maybe already, have seen us maybe before, but if not, let us know if you're new to the show. And don't forget to give us a like. Is this the like animation? No, this is the power up. See, I don't have the moderator today, and right away it goes wrong. But we have an e-learning platform if you want to learn more about Power BI. That's called Power Up. In our website, you can find more information about it. You can subscribe maybe to our YouTube channel, and you can. Oh, I'm looking for words a little bit because I'm doing it in English now, of course. But you can subscribe, and then you will be notified when we have new videos. Or don't forget to thumbs up for visibility. We always appreciate it if you want to do that. And now, welcome. And in the comments, indeed, you can leave a comment and we can right away show it. You can ask your questions, whether you're looking via YouTube or LinkedIn, doesn't matter. So, Marjolein, great that you're also watching. And Mark, also, good afternoon. So, let's start with our show. And then I always have to look for the animation. Is it this one or is it the other one? Now, let's try this one. Yay, I had the right one. Now, welcome again, Gregor. Maybe before we start about Measure Killer, what is it what you do? Is Measure Killer everything you do, or do you do other things beside
wow.
it?
Yeah, so we also do development for Power BI, right? So that was our main business, I would say, up until almost 2 years ago. Developing Power BI reports, Power BI solutions for clients in the German-speaking areas mostly. We have most clients in Switzerland, and then we also have a little bit in Germany and Austria. And yeah, then kind of this Measure Killer thing came along, and people in the community also really gave us some great feedback, really appreciated the tool, and then it kind of took on a momentum of its own, and that's why
Yeah.
now it's part of what we do every day. We have 2 full-time developers working on Measure Killer, and then also some people testing. So it's taking over more and more of our little company.
Yeah. So it's now your main product, maybe your main thing that you do next to the other things, but or is
Yeah,
it?
we invest a lot. I mean, this is basically what we get up for in the morning, I have to say. Like it's very exciting. It motivates you. There's some you get, I don't know, every day almost I get an email from somebody from all over the world, who is using it,
Yeah.
who has questions, who even, I don't know, wants to buy a license, or it's really cool to get this kind of feedback from people and to see
Yeah.
people appreciate it, people use it, people have ideas, and that's
Yeah.
really amazing.
And that motivates you to bring new functionality into the tool and to improve it. And of course, Power BI is also changing, so you have to adapt to
Right.
Power BI probably. Cool. Now, we want to see more about it.
Yeah.
So maybe we start just from the beginning. What is it? What is the value that it brings people? And so I'm going to add your screen and see that you already moved to the
Sure.
Mesh Killer website. So I'm going to add it now to the live stream. And
Great.
yeah, tell us about it. What does it do? What is
Sure.
use
So
case?
it's an external tool for Power BI. Let's start there. So you can download it at measurekiller.com. Um,
Hmm.
and basically, it helps you analyze a Power BI report, especially to find the columns and measures in your Power BI model that are actually not used anywhere. So you can find and remove unused measures and columns with Measure Killer without breaking anything, right? So something can be used, I don't know, in a calculated column, in a relationship, but it could also be used in a conditional formatting on a visual, or just generally in an axis of a visual. like we try to cover everywhere you can use a column or measure to tell you then where you use it, or if you don't use it at all, and then basically we'll automatically kill those things as well. So that's the main point of this tool, I would say. And I have this little report here, right? This is my sales report where I added one really ugly visual recently that has nothing to do with the original report, but I built something for visual calculations here, this new feature, because I just wanted to also show basically that we can also we're also supporting that now.
Great.
But generally, when I run Measure Killer on this report, and now I have the tool open, so it's something we need to install on our computer. We have a light mode and a dark mode, and then
So it's just an
now
additional desktop tool you install, Gregor. It's not within Power BI, but it is separate tool.
exactly.
All
You can
right.
start. You can either launch it from the external tools ribbon,
Okay.
or you can just yeah. You can also. There's two versions. One is added to the external tools. You need admin rights on the computer. The other one is a portable version. It will not show up there, but then you don't need admin rights. That's the only difference between those two versions. So when I run this, and actually I'm gonna run the latest version because I want to show you also the visual calculations part. When I run it, it basically identifies that I have this file open, right? So I'm gonna click on next. Then it also has it pre-selected here. I just want to click on run here, and then I get this analysis. So this is basically when I run Measure Killer, it only takes like a second or so.
Yeah, half a
build it
second even, I see. It's very fast.
Well, so this version, starting from version 2, we made it a lot faster. It's 5 to 10 times faster than before. And also it depends on, the computer, how complex and how big the report is. And by big, I mean not how many rows you have, but it's more about you could have 1,000 columns, but if you only have one row in the table, or you have 100 million rows, it doesn't matter for Measure Killer. Measure Killer is all about the metadata, meaning the number of columns, number of measures. We're interested in the number of visuals, pages. That's what impacts the speed of the tool, basically. And people who had thousands of columns and measures in the old version, sometimes they needed to wait like an hour or even a couple of hours to finish everything. And now, like I said, it's a lot faster. So now it usually only takes like a few minutes, even if you have a very complex, big report.
So what do I see here? In the red is the ones that are not used, I see.
Exactly. And let's start here maybe at the left bottom. This is the summary that you get. So this is really cool because you see the size, right? You see that 54% of the model size is used, but the rest is not used. So it means that my model is actually twice the size that it should be. And that means it's just a sum of the columns, right? So it means approximately half of the columns, depending on the size, are completely unused. And those are also the ones in red here. And you can see it's sorted by the size. So every row here is either a column, a calculated column, or a measure. And then it's either used or it's unused. And then, for example, if it's unused, well, it's just this red thing. But the ones that are used, I can open it up and I can see exactly where it's used. For example, this customer key, I can see it's used in a measure. We call this used in artifacts. It can be used in a measure or a calculated column. And then I can see that it's used in this measure here. And I can even right-click here and get the DAX expression, right? So then I can really verify that this is actually correct. And I can see inside this measure, we're doing a distinct count on the customer key. So that's where it's used.
And I like it that you also right away then at the right see that the measure is used.
Yes, exactly, because
Yeah.
it could be, let's look at one that is used a lot. see, for example, this profit measure is referenced in 4 other measures, but then one of them is actually not unused itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
And then it's
this
also,
helps you to get insight and to make your model smaller, faster.
yes,
So it's
exactly.
excellent first overview. So what if you want to get rid of him? Because we want to kill, of course. So
Right.
how do you
So
do that?
that's where these little kill tabs come into play. So I
Yeah.
can kill measures and calculated columns directly
Mhm.
by either doing a kill selected, meaning I have to select, I don't know, one. We can actually take a look how this works exactly.
Yeah.
You can see year-to-date profit, right? I'm gonna go for kill selected, and we can see here on the right, oh, it's gone.
Ah,
So
yes.
it's writing to the model directly, just like
Mhm.
C# script with tabular editor or something.
Mhm.
So that way I can either remove some or just remove everything. Right? Why would I keep something that is
Yeah.
unused? I'm just gonna kill all, and
Yeah.
now it's gone. Well,
Mhm.
people might say this is risky. What if I did something wrong? I
Mhm.
misclicked or something. We have this restore feature. So basically,
Mhm.
you can see now, this is what I just removed. So everything that I ever removed with Measure Killer will be
Okay.
stored here.
Wow.
And the cool thing is, you can define this folder yourself. You can set a path for where these backups should be stored. And in my
Yeah.
case, it's actually a OneDrive folder. So that way I can synchronize it across all machines, or even other people in the team can basically, we have all our backups in here, the whole team, for
And
testing
is
and
that
whatever.
as long as you have the same file name in Power BI then, or what is it
No, it's
linked to
all
that it
across
knows?
the, it's for, you see, it's all different models. So it's basically
Oh, okay.
everything that you ever killed with Measure Killer will be
All
backed
right.
up. Um,
Yeah, but I mean, if you change the name to Sales Report 2, does it still know the history of this file,
no,
or
it
should the
doesn't.
name keep the
It's
same?
stupid. It doesn't know anything. It will just basically save this. So then you have to figure out.
Yeah.
I could,
Yeah, exactly.
I could even restore something from a different model, because it's just putting the measure back. It doesn't validate
All
anything.
right. Oh, okay, okay. Well, but still
Yeah,
very handy, if by accident you
right.
do something or
Exactly. And
clear.
then you can just
Yeah,
restore it, and
indeed.
it will be back.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Or if you so let me actually restore, maybe let's restore those 3 here,
Mm-hmm.
because so now I actually have to run again. So it has to run the analysis again when I restore something, but not when I kill something.
Mm-hmm.
You can also generate a C# script, so that way you can then maybe paste it into the notepad, and then just remove it, I don't know, with some other tools, if you
Mm-hmm.
prefer that. Or you wanna, I don't know, you have thousands and you wanna filter out some stuff. It might not be ideal here in the UI. That's why we also we generate the C# script.
Yeah. Nice,
For
useful,
the
huh? And so before you finalize your dashboard, it can be handy to do run this and see, get rid of all the
Yeah.
unnecessary columns, measures, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we have this best practice to only load into Power BI what you need. But
Mm-hmm.
how do you know what you will need, right? Nobody knows before you finish the report,
No.
really, that I need exactly those 24 columns in those
Yeah.
4 tables. It's not possible.
No.
That's why,
True.
like you said, before you're finished or when you're finished, run the tool, kick out everything. You can always add it back later. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the measures and columns, the measures and calculated columns, they are not that important. I would say the really good stuff is the columns that come into Power BI via Power Query, right? So um, this is only measures and calculated columns, so the front end, the DAX stuff. But then the real columns, the ones that come in through Power Query, those I get basically a new M code. So we
Mm-hmm.
cannot kill them right away. We're working on a solution, but we haven't built that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what we do now for all, you see all those red columns, those are not calculated columns. Those are normal columns, data columns. So for that, I basically get this M code, and I get for every table that has an unused column, I will basically get an M code that is the old M code plus it adds one transformation step at the end where it takes out the unused columns, and we can take a look at that.
All right.
So I just copied this. This is my fact table. And you can see here, this is how the table looks, but I have some unused columns here. Actually, let's take a look. Which ones? Order line item and order number. So basically those two measure killer set is unused. So what I can do is I just open the advanced editor. I highlight everything here, or just mark all, and then boom, paste the code that measure killer generated. And then I click on done, and you can see it just adds this step where it takes those out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really good because it's very safe. Also, I can always either remove this step, or even better, I can click here and I can add the column. Like if I want to have one of those columns later on, I just add it here, and then it's back in.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it that it's an additional step which you can modify. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not completely automatically. If you have 100 tables, it's a lot of work basically.
Yeah. Is that something you're looking at? Because you hinted a little bit. Okay, can we maybe also do this automatically? Is there a way that you are investigating for that?
Yeah, we already started building some kind of one-click optimization. That's what people have asked for. Some people, they only want to do the analysis because they're worried about some things that can go wrong, blah, blah, blah. Other people, they say, hey, I just want to have one click and finish, because I have full trust in this. So that's why we'll
put a lot of trust in you, Gregor. Huh?
Well,
it's
we
weighing on
always
your
say
shoulders, baby.
you have to keep backups. It's not on us.
Yeah. I would always advise that. Oh yeah, so Danny is also watching from Singapore. He indicated earlier. Nice that you're watching, Danny. Very nice that you choose select columns instead of remove columns. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw it in
the
the
default
M-code.
is this exactly. That's the default, but you can choose which one. But of course, we will.
Oh yeah, you can do both.
We will recommend the
Oh,
select columns. It's just the best practice, I
yeah.
would say.
Yeah. So it's indeed a choice, Danny. Yeah. Now, so this is a single report. And now you're developing version after version, and now there's a new version 2.0. Maybe this is a good time to what it does additionally, because I think it's more it has something to do about doing multiple files at the same time, right? Also,
it can do a lot of things. This was the simple stuff. Now let's open a bigger, like a shared model, right? So actually, imagine I have something like something like this. One model, multiple thin file live connection to a Power BI semantic model. What if I want to analyze that, right? Well, for that we have the second mode of measure killer. So basically, we're going from simple to complex. So that's the second mode. Again, I have to have all those files on my machine. And now you can see I opened this IMDb dataset, which is in the service, but I have to have everything locally here. And that's only so we have a free and paid version, and this is part of the free version. But then I have to have all files on my machine. That's the only downside.
And for the paid version, that's not required. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. You don't need any Power BI data. We can just run in the service, finds everything, and so on.
Okay.
So now I have the data set, but what about the thin files? I need to drag and drop them in here. So basically, I have them. You can see those are really tiny because they just have the report. They don't contain any data. But my data set, see, it has 940 megabytes. It's huge.
Wow.
So I'm gonna just drag and drop those reports in there, and Measure Killer doesn't know that they are connected, and it doesn't know anything about this. It just assumes that the first thing is the data set, and the other things are the thin files. That's also in the instructions. So we have to be a little careful there. And then now it's just analyzing everything that is used from the model in any of those reports connected. And we get the same output. And we see that again around half, but this time it's a lot, right? 1.2 gigabytes is used only. 1.3 gigabytes is unused. So, and then now if I open up something, I can see that, for example, this measure is used in 6 visuals, but then I can see, okay, now the report is different, right? This is used in different reports. Those are the names of my reports. And actually, this is the data set itself, because it also has a page with a visual. I could have taken this out as well, but we can actually do this even later, I think. So I could take it out now, and then if I run again, this should go away. Let's try this actually. Now it should only, now it's only 5 times, and you can see it only has those files.
So this is helpful if you have one data set, in this case, used by multiple reports for all the reports see which one are used or not used from that semantic model. That's called now. And what if you maybe you get to that later, but you're gonna do it more and more complex. So this is one data set, multiple reports. That's this use case. Yeah.
We'll also have
and if you want to clean, is it the same? Sorry, Greg. Is it the same way of working with what you showed before? If you want to kill them, how would that work?
Yes, it's exactly the same, because I have my file open, so I can write to this model directly. The only thing that is a little different here, we have also report level measures, right? Those only exist in the reports. You can see that everything else belongs to the data set, but then those belong to the actual report. So I can see them here. I can see even if they're used or not, those report level measures. But I cannot remove them, because they're actually part of the report layout. So they're inside those files, and it's not really possible to remove them in a good way. So yeah, we just show basically what you have here. You can also see the DAX expression. You can, by the way, you can also export this whole thing as an Excel or JSON file and then analyze it further. It basically creates a good documentation. Sorry, where's my downloads of your model. So now I exported this. Let's see where it is. Here we go. So this is basically everything that I also had in the main output, plus some other stuff. So I have more things here. I can still see all the columns, if they're used, how often, size. But then I have all the DAX expressions here, for example, right? This is quite handy. We can see, I don't know, visual titles, subtitles, like where it's used, even the coordinates of the visuals or the size. It's just like a documentation of your model and reports.
Yeah, cool. And for the free version, do you also have to open the visual Power BI files, or is it only the data set that you had to open?
Only the data set. See, I only have one file open, because that's where we get the model information from. Everything else we can get from the Power BI file itself.
Okay, clear.
And then this is something. Oh, sorry. Do we have any questions or?
Not yet. No, I think it's all clear. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them, because then we can right away. I will put them into the screen and we can answer them. So let us know if you have any questions. So what is the what if analysis?
Yeah. So that's basically, you remove something, your file gets smaller, and that's great. But what if I want to know before, if I remove something, how much smaller will I actually have a benefit of removing, I don't know, some measures or, this is basically built for analyzing more complex scenarios. For example, now we have a couple of reports connected to our model, right? And you can see I chose now the report part. So here I can see every report that is connected, and I can see how much I can save if I remove that report from the whole construct, you know?
Oh yeah.
This is the potential savings.
Yeah.
And that's really cool because I can see everything that this report is consuming via the columns or measures it needs inside the report. So I can do that for a report, or I can also even do it for pages. So here I can see all the pages. And for example, we might have a hidden page in a report that actually nobody is using. It was only meant for testing. And then if I maybe forgot to take that out, I will see here that, oh, this is a hidden page. And maybe I can check what is used on that page. So
Yeah.
this gives you
Cool.
some really interesting insight into all the columns and measures you need to maintain a page in a Power BI report. And this is really going through the whole hierarchy. So if you're using a measure on that page, and then that measure is referencing another measure, and so on, you will see everything that is used in the end here. So we can see that those 4 columns are somewhere used on this page 1 of this report. And then we can see there's also 1 measure used. And then if I open up the measure, I can see, of course, which columns are referenced by that measure.
Yeah.
And if I remove a certain page, if I just go back to actually to here, I can basically see, okay, I can cut down the size of my model by 28 megabytes if I kicked out this page from this report.
Yeah.
And if I open up
In the
the
first column.
details,
Yeah.
I can see that, oh, actually, it's those 2 columns
Yeah.
that I would basically eliminate. And that means also that those are only used on this page, right? Because the potential savings basically checks everything, that relationships, all the other reports. So if I have a potential savings here, it means that it's basically when I remove this page, I'll be able to save this much
So
space.
it reminds me a little bit of this tool I run a lot. It's called Tree Size or something. If my hard disk is full again with all the movies we create,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
yeah, you have a similar analysis, where can you save the most space?
Right.
Yeah, I
And
like
then
it.
we also
Yeah,
have this full tree view that is pretty cool, I think.
yeah, yeah,
And here we can see basically this is our model and all the reports, and I can open up the tables. I can see
yeah,
all the columns, and then I can see for the calculated columns what is used in that calculated column.
yeah.
I can
So it
open the
supports
report.
visual calculations, calculated. Calculate. Does it also calculation groups? That's
Yes, yes.
is it all supported? Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
exactly, visual
yeah,
calculations.
yeah.
But this is especially
Measurement.
made to see the whole, like sometimes we have very complex reports, right? And then you don't even know anymore what is used to build a visual because it could be in a conditional formatting or
Yeah,
somewhere. It's going to take
yeah,
forever to find that. So
yeah,
here I can go in and I can say, okay, this report, this page, it has 3
yeah,
visuals. This is
yeah,
my scatter
yeah,
plot. And I can see it's using this title, it's using this measure is using
yeah,
this column, and so on.
yeah. So this is all still in the free version, or is this in the
Yes,
paid version? What if?
all in the free version.
All in the free. Wow.
Yeah,
And
some
if
people say we're giving away too much, but it's okay.
maybe I like it. And if you want to purchase the paid version, because in a minute you're going to show more, maybe the more complex things that maybe
Right.
are in the paid version. What is the cost involved, and how can people purchase it best?
So it depends a little bit on your setup. So
Hmm.
basically, if you have premium per user, it's very affordable. It costs like 550 euros for the whole organization. So that's a real
All right.
sweet spot for premium per user
One
because
time.
could be
Hmm.
could be small teams like us, basically. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and then for the bigger ones, if you have a premium capacity or so, then it will cost around 700 euros per user per year. So
Hmm.
it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we also have a pricing for consultancies. It's pretty much the same, but for them, it's also made that like exact. For example, I would buy it for for myself, and then I could use it on all my consultant projects, basically. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So the
these are the
consultancy
websites.
price is also per license.
Yes,
Is also the 750.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it gives you a lot of value because everyone hates if you create something and people start to complain about the performance. It's just
Right.
yeah, it can save you a lot of hassle, of course. So yeah. So what is the third button about? What's
So this
next?
is, yeah, so this is basically where we start running this tool in the Power BI service. So now
Hmm.
it's getting, I guess, interesting. You can see now I see all the workspaces, all the premium workspaces. So
Yeah.
far, we still need to rely on Power BI premium features. This will
Hmm.
stop at some point. We'll also be able to analyze stuff in pro workspaces. But
Hmm.
so far, we still need the model to be in a premium workspace. And then I
Why
can
is that?
select
Why is that, Gregor?
XMLA.
Why is there
The
a difference?
XMLA, the
Ah,
XMLA
okay.
connection is a premium feature.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Okay, clear.
So I
So
want
if
to
you have
analyze the
premium
model,
workspaces, and that's also why you refer to the premium per user and the premium, now I understand,
right?
because then this
Right.
really shines. Uh, and here you see all the yeah, the complete all the
Everything,
workspaces.
everything that I have access to, right? I'm running
Yeah,
this. I'm authenticating with my user,
yeah.
um, and then basically it's doing some API calls on my behalf. So I have access. And now I see everything that I also see here because
Mm-hmm.
it's just using my account.
Mm-hmm.
So now I want to analyze one data model, right? One model, and I want to find all the connected reports. And
Mm-hmm.
I selected this model, and now the next thing it wants me to search. It's asking me to, in which workspaces do you want to search for connected reports? And I can either select all, or I can just select a couple because I don't know. I know that it's not going to be in this and this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I click on next, and now it's doing those API calls. So now it's basically finding the connected reports in those workspaces. And also here now you can see it's also finding a paginated report. So in
Mm.
the paid version, basically, it also can handle paginated reports automatically and Power BI reports.
Yeah. And is this new in version 2.0, or was this already in a prior version?
This was
This getting
already
of the
there before.
right.
What we added in version 2 was analyze in Excel. Um,
Mm.
so basically, if I also have somebody building reports in Excel on top of this Power BI model, I can add those. I can add those analyze in Excel files here. And let
All
me
right.
just find.
So not only Power BI, but also the Excel. So again, if you're
uh,
watching, if any questions, we're still 12 minutes in the episode. So yeah, feel free to ask the questions, and maybe it's also something valuable for you. There's a free and a paid version, so you can try it out for free first. And if you have premium, then makes sense to also pay because then you can use it to scan all the workspaces in one go.
right. So here, this is an example like this
Yeah.
analyze an Excel file, right? And I can just drag and drop it in here, and
All right.
I can I can also add like other Power BI files if they're not in the service yet, or even paginated
Yeah.
reports here. It's just a
Yeah.
local file. Um, but yeah, so otherwise I can just say run the analysis, and
Mm.
then it's getting all the metadata. So now we're
Yeah.
doing this XMLA connection. I have to authenticate actually a second time for that. This is just how
Yeah.
it works. But the
Mm.
tool always just analyzes the metadata of the report and the model. Um,
Yeah.
and then I can see across all those um, reports how much is used again, what I can kick out. And here, I could also kill stuff by writing to the model online. That happens also through the XMLA endpoint. So if I go here, we throw this warning that, hey, careful,
Mm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
this is risky business. because
Mhm.
once I modify the dataset by the XMLA endpoint, I cannot download the file anymore. So that's
Mhm.
somewhat risky.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you adjust it, you can't locally download it anymore, you mean? It has to
Yeah,
stay in
exactly.
the
It's
servers.
not basically go here and say download this file. I will say,
Yeah.
no, this has been modified by the XMLA endpoint.
All right. Why is that? Is that to safeguard it, or is that a Power BI thing?
It's a Power BI limitation.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, something to take into account. But at least you can do it, you can apply it, but you can also use it to
Yeah.
analyze and then change it yourself,
Right.
right? So
Right. You can also export everything just like before.
yeah, yeah.
And the really interesting part is when I run this force mode, because here now I'm running it as a tenant admin. And in my
Mm-hmm.
case, I am an administrator in our tenant. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
have those rights. Otherwise, this will not work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can see all the workspaces in the tenant. And that's really what we need, because it could be that somebody built a report in a workspace that you just don't have access to, right? How do you
Mm-hmm.
know where all those reports are? Um,
Yeah.
Actually, let's take a look here. So this weather data set, if I
Mm-hmm.
open up the lineage, you can see that even in the Power BI UI, I can see there is like 7 reports, 3 paginate reports,
Yeah.
whatever. And then it says there's more items with limited access. So that's
Yeah.
when it tells you there's more, but you don't know
Yeah.
where it is.
All right.
Um, and if you run it as an admin, we will know. So actually, what I see now in Measure Killer is
Yeah.
more than what we have here, because, for example, here, this shady workspace where you can see there's a paginate report. It shows even my access level. So it shows me that I
Yeah.
don't have access here. Uh,
Yeah.
so basically, what happens is Measure Killer will give me access to that workspace to do the analysis, and then we'll take it away again
Hmm.
automatically.
So you found a backdoor to see that information.
Well, it's just
Yeah.
no, the
If
API
you're an
won't give you that.
administrator. Yeah, the API facilitates
But
that.
it's
Yeah.
sad that I don't see it here, because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I am still an admin, right? So why?
Yeah, why wouldn't you see it indeed if you're the admin?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Good
So
that Measure Killer is there to give at least this insight. Marjolein, thank you for your comment also. No questions yet, but happy to able to share this recording with my colleagues. Now, Gregor appreciates it that you're going to share it. And we leave it on YouTube, as you know. So if you watch this via LinkedIn or you just tuned in, be aware that the full episode can be watched back on our YouTube channel, Get Responsive, like all the episodes before. Yeah. So, I think we have one button left, right? What was a fifth
yes.
button, I think? Or
Here,
did you
there's
want
just
to add
one thing I wanted to
something
say.
to add?
We also see everything in personal workspaces.
Oh yeah.
So I also see that if somebody built the report there, actually in this case, it's my workspace. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I will see if people are doing this kind of stuff. And the other thing I have here is I can find the Excel users.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so this is something that we haven't released yet, but it's coming. As you can see, it's already working here. We can get the activity logs, and we're filtering those to find all the Excel activities in the last 30 days. And then we'll tell you who is doing analyzing Excel on top of this model and when they
Hmm.
did it, if they did Excel online or they did the Excel desktop, if they
Yeah.
just refreshed a previous sheet or they created a new file. So this will take a while, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but
But
it's
this is
big.
a relatively new. You just added this,
Oh yeah,
Gregor.
this is brand new. Yeah, this is
Wow.
not out yet. Yeah,
All right. Now, the Peter also was wondering about that because he says, "What are the main developments to come?" So this is one of them. Is there anything else you can share with Peter and the rest that you're
sure.
currently thinking about?
So this is the coolest mode we have, this tenant analysis, and that's really what I want to show now.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me just, yeah, 20, well, let's do 20. So here I can basically run a scan of the whole Power BI tenant. And here also we're investing most of our energy, I would say. Here, for example, you can see when you open this up, you also have to be an admin, of course, but you can see immediately how many workspaces you have, how many models in Pro and Premium, the personal workspaces. And what's coming here is the Fabric items. We already have them, like notebooks, lake houses, and all this kind of stuff. And actually, let me just run this because it will take a little bit of time. And I will explain some more about what we actually see here in the meantime. So you can see here that we just have all the workspaces, right? We can see all the reports, paginate reports and models, if I have access, which capacity, all this kind of stuff. And then I can select either the whole tenant or just a part of it if I want to filter stuff for the further analysis. And what we're building here is basically we're trying to give you full lineage of all the models, everything that is connected. And what's new, what is to come here is also that we have data sources. So you'll be able to see which Power BI models consume which data source. So for example, you'll be able to search here a certain database view, and then you will find all the Power BI semantic models that are using this database or this database view. That's new. And what else do we have? Oh, Azure Analysis Services. So right now we're still Power BI, but also analysis services will be covered really soon.
Nice that you're also adding Fabric. So the notebooks are there. Are there other parts of Fabric that will be added?
Notebooks, lake houses, what else? Data flows, I guess. Yeah, all the Fabric items, basically. But we'll just show you how many you have in which workspace.
Yeah. And this is a very large tenant, as we can see. So no,
actually,
it
it's
takes
not.
a couple of minutes, but then it's there.
Well, yeah. So you can see it took 100 seconds. This is I would say it's a small tenant. This is really made to run at scale. Like we've tested this on thousands of reports and models.
Wow.
It's really gaming the APIs. It's doing some crazy stuff because what we get here is we will get all the semantic models in the whole tenant. And we'll see how big they are, how many calculated columns they have, how many reports are connected. And then we can look inside those models and we can see what people are doing. Like, those local data tables like auto date time is an absolute no-no. I can search for that and I can see all the models that have that.
You see how much that takes up of the total file indeed. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. You can see here that this is 90 mega. It's more than half.
Yeah. These local data tables. Wow.
Or I can search for many-to-many relationships or one-to-one relationships. And I get everything here.
Yeah. Wow. So it's really also a full quality control. It's not only about the usage, non-usage, but indeed also the type of relations you can now analyze using this.
And we also get some crazy metadata here. You can export, so you can export everything. So all models, everything that we show here, you can export this as JSON. Also, for example, what's interesting sometimes is for the workspaces, you can see everybody who has access to that workspace. It's a really cheap or really easy way to get that. You don't need to build any API calls, any solution for that. You can just get it out of here. And
awesome, Gregor. Yeah. What did you want to say? Sorry.
For the reports, we have also a tab here that has a really, really powerful custom visual search. So, I mean, we have all the reports in the tenant, right? You can see that this one has 1,000 visuals. That's why we call it Power BI Criminal, because somebody actually built this report and put 267 visuals on one page. See, this is a real world example.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty crazy. And you can see that, but then you can also see, okay, how many custom visuals are in used. And the cool thing now is, for example, you can search for custom visuals, right? So I want to search for the Azure map. Boom, I can see
Mhm.
immediately in which reports those are.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and the cool thing is here, I can also see if a visual is certified or not. So I can
Hmm.
see all the
Yeah,
certified or uncertified visuals. You can see the
yeah,
certified are those blue ones.
yeah.
Um, anyway,
Yeah,
so
it's really a full quality control. Huh?
yeah,
Um, and is this new in the new version, Gregor? This last thing,
this this is
the
already there now. Yeah,
yeah. It's amazing to see what you built with such a small team, with two developers. It's
yeah,
amazing, really, what you can do with a small team. I think that's
right.
and so you will be keep releasing versions. How often do you release a new version?
Usually
Minor
every 1 or 2 months. We're quite
Oh yeah,
quick. We
yeah.
try to release quickly, and then usually we release a smaller version to fix the bugs that came in the new version.
That's software development, right?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly.
So and do you have how can people do they email you then if they, or do you have a community somewhere to where people share
Yeah,
experiences also?
you can see it. We have on our blog, we have one. So this is also built in the tool. So
Yeah.
where is this actually? Here, help.
Oh yeah.
No, where is this? Wasn't it somewhere here? Did we change
Hmm.
this? Wait a
Oh,
second. There was a button here. Huh. About?
maybe
No, it's
moved
not
into the
here.
latest version.
We have the YouTube and we have the, but we also had where to give feedback. Huh. This is
Oh yeah.
okay. I
No,
think this somehow disappeared.
something to fix.
Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
here you
But at
can
least
see
on the
that.
website you see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's on the website. People write
Yeah.
stuff here, throw
Yeah.
the error messages, and so on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks great. Gregor, thank you very much for in detail showing us this all. And
Sure.
if you're still watching, let us know what you thought about it. Eh? Give a thumbs up if you liked it, or leave a short comment to Gregor and his team. Because yeah, I really appreciate it that you're creating this also for the community. And so thank you. Next week we're also, of course, live, and then we are doing it in Dutch again with Laura and Timo, and they have a nice solution, especially for accountancy that they are working on, and that we would love to share about. And actually, there's a third colleague that's also joining, but I still have to have his exact name. But the three of them are joining. So if you like to know more about how you can apply Power BI in the accountancy, then definitely tune in next week. Let's see if there are some last remarks. So Danny is very enthusiastic. And he says, yeah, after this we can use the DAX optimizer. Yeah, maybe we can combine
Right.
things. Eh? And also Peter really likes it. So thank you all for watching and have a nice day, evening, and yeah, maybe see you next week. Bye. Thank you, Gregor.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.